Synthetic division is a shortcut way of dividing polynomials that only works when you're dividing by a linear factor. So here we're dividing by x plus 2. X plus 2 is linear, so synthetic division is going to work. And the way that it works is you find the number associated with the linear factor, which is when you divide by x minus p, you're looking for the p value. So what would you say if we're dividing by x plus 2, the p value is? The number that we want is -2, and it's the opposite of the one that you see in the linear factor. And I'm going to start with that, -2. And then I'm going to take the coefficient of every term in the polynomial that we're dividing. So the x cubed has a 1, the x squared has a 2, the x has a -5, and the constant term is -6, and I'll put those in there. This is the setup to do synthetic division. One thing you need to be aware of is if you start with an x cubed, you need to have an x squared coefficient, an x, and a constant. If there's one missing, you have to put a 0 as a placeholder. You can't skip terms. You have to have from the highest right down to the constant every one. And then here's the method once you get it set up. Bring down the first term. So take the 1 down here, and then we're going to multiply here and here. -2 times 1 is -2. The product goes there. And then we'll add 2 plus -1. Or sorry, 2 plus -2. So we're adding here. So it's multiply, product, and then add. That gives me 0. And then you do that process over again. So we multiply -2 times 0 now. But still that process, multiplying, and put the product there. So that product is 0. And then same as before, add -5 plus 0 is -5. Multiply, add, that's what we're doing. So now we're going to multiply again. -2 times -5 is +10. Right, -2 times -5 is +10. And then add -6 plus 10 is 4. We're going to get our answer from here. This actually tells us what the answer is. So this division, these numbers, 1, 0, and -5, are the coefficients of the terms that you get when you divide. So if we're dividing an x squared by x, or sorry, an x cubed by x, we get an x squared. And the coefficient on it is 1, because it's right there. The next number is the coefficient on the x term. So we have 0x. I'm not even going to write it down. Well, I will for now, actually, just so you see. So we have plus 0x minus 5. That's the constant term. So we have the squared term, the linear term, the constant term. And this 4 is the remainder. Remainder of 4. So that's the part that's left over when you're done dividing. That would be the decimal part if you were dividing numbers, or the fraction part when you're dividing numbers. So really the way this should be written is x squared minus 5, because I don't want to include that 0x. And then it's plus 4 over x plus 2. Here's the next one. It's written out a little bit differently, but it's the same thing. It's this cubic divided by a linear polynomial. Cubic polynomial divided by a linear polynomial. I want you to try to set it up. Don't worry about doing the division. You can try if you want, but at least get it set up, and I want to see if you can do that step. So you have this thing. Where are you going to put the numbers? What numbers are you going to put? All right, what number did you put on the outside?
2.
A 2, right, a positive 2. And then on the inside, across the top there, what numbers did you put? 1. 0, good. -3, -2. Do you see why that 0 needs to go there? There's no x squared term in the polynomial, but there is an x cubed. And so you need to have that 0 to hold the place of the x squareds. So now we can start, bring down the 1, multiply, 2 times 1 is 2, add, 0 plus 2 is 2, so it's multiply, add, right? We multiplied, add it, now we need to multiply again. 2 times 2 is 4. Add, so -3 plus 4 is 1. And then multiply, 2 times 1 is 2. And add, we have 0 there. So this one actually divides evenly, right? The answer would be x squared plus 2x plus 1. I have 3 terms, so they have to be a squared, a linear, and a constant. But you can look at what you divided. It was a cubic we were dividing by a linear, so if we divide an x cubed by an x, we have to start with an x squared. And then just go down from there. And there's no remainder, so that's it, that's the answer.